Welcome back, tribe. Have one here from Men Only. She ruined her marriage of over a decade, finally seeing how she messed up. I freaking doubt that. She probably regrets the money she lost out on and the easy life.
I can remember when I told my ex-husband I wanted a divorce. It was December 2019, and he was completely shocked, completely caught off guard, like dumbfounded, devastated, everything else. But the month before that, November of 2019, I remember very clearly having yet another talk with him about how unhappy I was. But this particular conversation, he was in his man cave room playing video games, which was like his favorite activity. And I go walking in and I tell him, like, I really want to talk about our marriage. Like, I'm not happy.
Why?
It feels like we're roommates at this point, and I don't really have a partner, blah, blah, blah. This man was wearing his headphones because he was playing with a friend and they like talked to each other. He didn't even take his headphones off. He just pulled it off his right ear. This is almost 4 years ago now. I can still remember he pulled it off his right ear.
Okay.
And he didn't pause the game or stop playing. He continued to play a video game while his wife was standing in front of him, telling him how unhappy she was in the marriage. And I remember when he said to me something about like marriage being forever and whatever.
And two things here. She's also at fault. He's also at fault. If your partner's coming to you and saying, hey, we need to talk, I'm unhappy in our marriage, pause the fucking game and listen to what she has to say, you moron. You don't pull the headphones to the side. Yeah, bro, my wife's in the room. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, baby, what's up? Oh, shit, I just died. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's crazy. Puts the headphones on and keeps playing. Don't be an idiot. But also, part two of the moron deluxe here is that she goes in, tries to have a conversation when he's already in a game playing with his friend. You could have had this conversation at a later date, later in the day when he's done playing, maybe at the table when you're both eating, set up a nice meal for each other. Say, hey, babe, I cooked for you. Come sit down and eat with me. And then, broach the conversation that way. Like, clearly you suck at communicating, he sucks at communicating, and you eventually split apart because you both suck at communicating. But to just entirely blame the guy, which is typical of what they do, is also horse shit.
And I said to him, well, maybe some marriages aren't meant to last.
Of course.
And he got so mad at me for saying that. But he didn't stop playing video games to have the conversation with me. And if that doesn't perfectly sum up why I divorced this man, then I don't know what does. And I feel like this is a very common trend. I hear about this type of stuff a lot, where the wife had expressed her concerns for months or even years. And then when she finally says, all right, I've done everything I could do, I want a divorce. Then the husband's like, what do you mean? What's happening? I love you. Please don't leave me. Please don't take my kids from me. It's like, bitch, you should have put in effort. You had the opportunity. We give you so many opportunities to do the right thing. You chose not to. This is now the repercussions of your actions.
When a relationship ends between two people, you part ways. And that also means that you are both going to be at different levels in your processing of the grief, of the death of what once was, and all of that. And even months or years later, there can be certain triggers that pop up and you're like, whoa, I thought I dealt with that shit. Do not go back into the story that you want them or miss them or can't make it without that other person. Oftentimes what those triggers are trying to show you is that there's something unresolved within you that you need to address. For me, watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing. It's really triggering for me because I walked away with literally having to start over after 12 years of starting over, of wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head with my boys and not being able to just go out and play in our backyard like we used to.
Okay, so all this video tells me is that you were the problem. You were the one holding him back from whatever it was that he was trying to accomplish or do. now that you're saying that he's thriving after the fact, there was something there that continued to hold that man back from thriving and being successful. And this is what's crazy about a lot of these women that are filing for divorce, is they're not thinking through the aftermath of what's going to come, what's going to happen. You can't expect to continue to be a stay-at-home mom.
Well, here's what the delusion stems from this. It's very simple. They think the attention men give them because they want to have sex with them is the same kind of attention they'll get that their husband is providing them, the provisioning and the protection. Like, women conflate sexual interest from men with provider interest from men. And that's two completely separate things. Just because the CEO, just because the doctor, the lawyer, the dentist is in your DMs telling you how he wants to rearrange your guts, doesn't mean he foresees a life with you, Disney, happily ever after, the same way you do. Women build up the most incredible fantasies in their head about the men that are interested in them because they're interested in the men that way. When a woman is emotionally interested in a man, she's already calculating what a future would look like, what kids would look like, what life will look like, how he can change her life, upgrade her situation. She thinks just because that guy sent a message because he's horny at 2 a.m. and wants to rearrange some guts, that it means this is going to be the new Casanova, Prince Charming, my husband to be, and life will be happy forever and ever. And it's not the case, man. And so when they leave these marriages that they think they can do better, they think their life will be upgraded with another man. They think that they'll find something that's akin to a husband, but an upgrade on every single level imaginable. And what they end up finding out is all that's left in the streets are pumps, dumps, guts rearranged and thrashed all over the place. And you got to deal with the aftermath, the psychological damage, the insecurities, the feeling like you're not enough, that men ain't shit, that they're just using me for my body, that it's a minefield out there. This is the trenches. Like, no, I'll never find love. I should get a cat. Oh my God, boxed wine is my new favorite thing now. And I sit at home and watch serial killer drama, documentaries and shit because I need to cope with the fact that I left something that I had that was good because I thought another man would offer me the same thing my man was already offering me. I wasn't appreciating my man, and now I'm paying for the consequences because all the other guys will only offer me dick. Oops. This is called dealing with consequences, something they don't think about because they've been getting bailed out on every single action they've ever undertaken by some man, some simp, some walking wallet, or a spineless turd of a daddy. This is why they grow up this way. This is why they're all over the West. This is why the princess syndrome is so commonplace in this side of the world versus the rest, where women are actually expected to go to work, expected to earn money for the family, expected to pull their own weight in the house, expected to cook and clean and all this stuff, except in the West. You're a little princess, but you're also a strong babe. You can compete with men and you're independent and competitive and you could be masculine too, and that's sexy and chase a career and all that, but also you're a dainty little princess and you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions. And like, if I get drunk and a guy takes advantage of me, I had no agency. I was drunk. It doesn't count. It's not real. It's crazy, dude. We raise spoiled princess brats in the West. And then everybody's looking around going like, wow, why is one gender so messed up? Why is dating so crazy? Why are all these delusions so high today? These unreal expectations, hoflation. What's happening? Men had a hand in this, raising these spoiled brats, either not being present at all and creating like the absolute whores and street queens that just rack up 100 bodies by 18, or you create the absolutely spoiled brats where daddy gave me everything. Daddy didn't know how to say no. My little princess. And you raise a completely useless human being that depends on men to give them everything in life. And then, oops, your daughter now sells her kitty. Oops, she's on OnlyFans because that's what she equates with love. Because you're such a moron. You bought your daughter's love with trinkets and gifts and constantly not saying no, never reprimanding them and developing healthy boundaries and self-esteem. Congratulations, you turd of a father. You created another spoiled brat princess whose guts will get rearranged over and over again. And you're the one to blame. This shit, all these toxic cycles go back to the family home. Fathers not being present, single parent households. It's all there, man.
To live a great lifestyle, whatever it was that you were able to have as a married woman with a husband doing whatever he was doing, that lifestyle will not continue. Even if you do get half of his money, you're still missing that other half. So whatever it is that you are now missing, whatever it is that you think that, it's a pity party because now that you walked away from the marriage, you don't know how you're going to keep a roof over your head. Well, then maybe it's time to rethink what the heck you could have done differently. I'm sorry, but there's so many videos out here now that it honestly seems to me that a lot of these women are regretting their decisions. Do not go and get a divorce just because of a feeling that you have. Because a lot of feelings are just temporary. It doesn't make any sense to destroy the life that you built with
Facts.
your husband just because of a temporary feeling. And now you're on TikTok crying, talking about you don't know how you're going to afford to keep the roof over your head. Does that make sense? Like, come on now. This is just crazy.
Me calling my ex-husband while we were separated because I was having a panic attack and he was my safe person. Him coming to pick me up even though I was the one divorcing him. I completely understand this. I did it several times. I struggle with the sadness of the decision, but it was needed. So your ex-husband is needed, but he's your ex-husband. Mine didn't come. I go through them alone now, and it hurts every time. There is a disconnect happening where women are leaving their men, yet expecting them to stay and keep performing their husbandly duties. Do you think if he called her having a panic attack that she'd even pick up the phone? Being expected to constantly provide and care for people who have given up on them is not good for men's souls and their growth. It is beating them down mentally. Men already feel overlooked for their personalities and love to give and feel more used for what they can provide. And crap like this is exactly why. Even if it's not your intention, it is so incredibly manipulative to break up with a guy and then expect him to console you through the breakup. Stop using your exes as free therapists. Move on and let them move on in peace.
I think even in society, we're taught that like when a divorce happens, you failed. And oh, I failed. Oh, that was the hardest thing to face.
Of course, it's a failure. You had wedding vows till sickness and in death. You're supposed to be together forever. You most likely got married at a church. Then you signed a contract with the government saying as such that you're going to be together and enjoy some tax benefits and whatever other write-offs you can get. You failed on your contract with the government and you failed your oaths under the church. It is a failure. If you get married and then you get divorced, it's a fail. We're not going to start renaming shit. We're not going to start twisting up what it means to get a divorce. We're not going to start coping and saying it's okay. It's just growth. Divorce is now growth. Divorce is a new chapter in my life. Divorce is the grass is on the other side and I jumped the fence and it was so much greener. Divorce is freedom. No, it isn't, you idiot. You picked the wrong person. You chose not to communicate. You destroyed your own relationship and now you have to start over like the bozo you are. You start over. You went backwards to be single and now you got to find a partner again because you picked the wrong one. That is a fail.
Also because I couldn't speak to people about it. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. I couldn't speak to people about it because I didn't have the safety net of the home base to lean on. His family became my family. But when
so
the
evil.
divorce happened, I knew that eventually that was going to fade. And I think that, not to take away from who he was in my life, but that was so painful. I was losing the family members.
Wow, look at that. His family took you in and made you one of their own, showed you love, showed you support, was your emotional pillar. You still cry about it. Don't know how long ago this divorce was, but you're still crying about not only losing the man, but losing his family. Damn, you know how hard it is? Not only do you marry somebody, but to get along with the in-laws, to really assimilate this much and feel like that's your own family as well, that's rare. That's hard. She had that, and she still left.
That I grew so close to, that validated my feelings, that listened to me.
The question is, who asked for the divorce? Statistically, 80% of the time, it's the women.
Let's see what the comments say. Single guy retired, at peace and happy. No chaos, no drama, no wife, happy life. My wife dumped me brutally 2 years ago after a lifelong marriage. Now at 66 years old, old timer. I'm happy for the first time for many decades. Sheesh, man. Well, age is just a number, as they say. Man's young, large, and in charge. Go travel the world to get you a nice sweet thing at 30-something years old, my friend. Feel alive again. My ex-wife tried that one time. She showed up on my doorstep during a massive thunderstorm waiting to come in. Nope. I told her I would call her a ride, but she's not coming in. I don't care if she gets hit by lightning. Not my wife, not my problem. She never got that twisted again. She knows she's not welcome anywhere I am. Wow. Single dad, has sons 4 days a week. We lift weights at home, get schoolwork done, play video games before bed, and I'm loving it, man. Nice. For men, the new American dream is to earn enough to live comfortably alone. Sheesh. My ex-wife is one of these who thought she could still get husband benefits from me after our divorce. I ain't the one, son. Yeah, that's a very interesting way to put it. Husband benefits post-divorce. The fact that they expect nothing to change and it's like a one-way street in their mind and that you have duties. They're really hardcore into shaming a man about being traditional and having duties and living up to that ideal in the old world, right? But when you put those same expectations on them, all of a sudden you're a misogynist, you're a pig. I'm not going to be a stay-at-home wife. I'm not cooking and cleaning for nobody. I'm a strong boss babe, independent, don't need your money. Don't. All of a sudden it changes. They're modern. But you still need to do your duty as a man if you left them, as if they couldn't even get a job or open a bank account. They're under that mentality. We have no rights, no freedoms. I expect to extract maximally from my simp until the end of days. My simp is only allowed to stop sending me money when he's dead. And when he dies, I will collect the insurance benefits, and he should be opening that up in my name anyways. Bro, delusion like in the West, you won't find it anywhere else. This shit is crazy. Well, maybe China, because we've seen some crazy China videos. They got princess syndrome going on there on a whole nother level. Jesus, look at this dude. I was married for 26 years. Divorced her 7 years ago after cheating on me multiple times. I went to extremes to try to please her during our marriage. Massive red flag, my friend. Lesson learned, I guess. She complained constantly and was never happy, of course, because you were a spineless turd. Let's be honest. After multiple post-divorce boyfriends, she's still unhappy and bitter. Yep. And you chose a happy and unbitter woman. See how no man could change her? There was no Prince Charming that could make her happy and lively and feminine. Bro, you got down on one knee and proposed to that. You had some real blinders on. Your husband isn't responsible for your happiness. It actually makes them mad to see their man happy. Yeah, it does, because dating, relationships is a competition today. I told you it's adversarial here in the West. It's not us two working together for a legacy. It's me versus you at all times and how I can benefit and what I could get from you. And if it seems at any point in this relationship you're somehow getting more out of it than I am, it has to end. You're abusing me, you're manipulating me, you're using me, you're getting more out of this than I am. Me, I versus you. End. Right swipe. Tinder. Pumped and dump. Chad. Q crying on TikTok. Adoration and support and attention from strangers on the internet. Likes, hearts, comments, subscribes. Cries into the pillow. Mascara everywhere. Meow. Cats appear. Boxed wine appears. All of a sudden it wakes up 50, 60. Alone. Cat eating my face. I have died in my living room. Call life alert. Sorry, you couldn't even afford the hip monitor because of all your bad decisions in life. Welcome to the modern world. This is how modern women will be retiring. And we'll see you guys on the next one. What the hell?